All right, everybody. Let's do it again. Here we are.
Here we are.
Back to STL Comics After Hours, and we're just going to jump right in. In the last week or two, we've had some really interesting stuff come in. First, I want to talk about we got two card sets, 85 and 86. We got the 85 Transformers card set and the 86 G.I. Joe card set.
Pure wow.
Yeah, complete sets. It's clean cards. The G.I. Joe is 100% complete. The Transformers, out of 24 stickers, we had 20.
Yeah, it's close.
And it was close. And these are, big dollar sets. I'm worried. My only worry is they're going to sit here waiting for the right buyer to finally come in.
It's absolutely going to take the right person to want to spend that kind of cash on a card set.
I mean, we're talking $500 and $900, each set.
But I'm a little embarrassed at not having even seen these things before, especially at that kind of value. It's the thing we should all be looking for.
Well, yeah. So I've seen loose cards. I've had random cards, and some of them hold some value. Like there's, out of the 4 stickers we're missing from the Transformer set, one of those stickers alone, goes, sorry guys, goes for $200 to $250 just for this little, like 1.5 by 1.5 inch sticker.
Well, and the artwork across the board is familiar. A lot of it is what they were putting on the packaging of the figures themselves.
Yeah. Especially the Joes.
Yeah.
They have that orange and red background, sunburst background kind of thing. So just something you do not see, especially collected and cared for, honestly. Like they're like I said, they're clean. The thing about it is, I think Hasbro went to Kinko's or something like that and had these printed. There's no card logo, company name, it just says Hasbro.
Well,
and it's just cheap card stock.
Well, you'd expect for it to say Topps, Fleer, or Donruss during those years.
Yeah.
And apparently none of those companies were involved, and that's
Hasbro said, we're going to keep all this money. And,
But they must not have sold a ton of them because they're not real widespread. It's not something I've seen all over everywhere. No. And if you think about other cards of the 80s, non-sports or sports, they were produced in such great quantities. It's known as the junk wax era.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. And to where, I remember all through the late 90s and early 2000s, and I'm sure they're still out there somewhere, but walking into like resale shops, thrift shops, flea markets, and people just having cases and boxes of that stuff sealed, just sitting, no value to it whatsoever, really, because there was so much of it out there. So those were fun to play with and go through and figure out pricing on, and
absolute pure excitement on seeing them walk in, and especially when those guys said we have some cards. I went,
yeah, and then it is kind of how I am now when anybody says cards.
But I flipped open the cover of that binder and went, ooh.
And phenomenally, I can't remember which set it was because I'm the one that went back after you purchased them. I went back, pulled them all out, made sure, double checked that every card was there, and then proceeded to figure out a price. But one of them, you opened up the binder and like the edge on the back cover and the front cover, I think both, had like a line of like mold and foxing.
No, I just, I didn't even mess with them, but I was so worried every card would be stuck into the pages.
And none were. I can tell you that.
Absolute blessing.
But that whatever got there to form on the outer edge of this binder did not make its way into the card. So I was really happy to see that. Because when I flipped that binder open, I was like, ooh, did we look at everyone? Like, do we know?
No.
Because obviously sometimes that happens.
Sure.
We miss the condition of something and end up overpaying because it was just hard. Like Lego Voltron came back, and that guy has not been back, which makes me, after him shopping here regularly for a few years, that makes me curious. He knew. He had to know
he knew
that it was broken and missing parts, but to the naked eye, when you're looking at it, it looked great. Lego Voltron, it was awesome. But when you dig into it and start to look at things, there were a couple of issues with it and really diminished the value. And again, he hasn't been back, so hey, to that guy.
That might be one of those things where we get my kid to figure out exactly what those parts are we need,
and just order them.
And
up.
just order
yeah,
them. You know, I mean,
I'd say on that piece, it's probably worth it. You know,
well, yeah, and he knows how to figure out
as well as the Simpsons house that
those
we're
numbers.
One little piece.
Oh, I think we should just sell that as is.
That's what I said, and you were like, maybe we order that piece, and I'm like, nah.
Well, no, I'm ready to let her go. We spent enough time on it.
So, what else do we get? So, oddly enough, we had a couple of buys in the same week of G1 Transformers.
Well, one technically was a trade.
Okay, so
and that guy. There's a small story there. He is owner of a local record shop.
Oh yes, yeah.
He comes in here once in a while. We're not close to him. He walked in that day. We said our happy howdies, and then he made it into the first room over here on the right.
Oh,
and saw the Battle Beasts.
Battle Beast 8-pack.
Yeah, in package Battle Beast. He stopped in his tracks. And then,
I'm going to pause this story real quick. So many people come in here and talk about it, and they'll be like, "Is this new? I didn't see this." That Battle Beast has been sitting back there for a good year.
It's been here for a minute, but it was expensive.
It's a stout, item. You're going to have to pay up for it. It's not something you see all the time, so it does take a unique collector. But it's been here, and we've moved it around, and eventually, I guess we moved it to a spot that caught his eye finally.
Well, what he told me was he recently started collecting Battle Beasts and has done a deep dive and seen what's available and what he can get.
Gotcha.
And he saw that multi-pack and he knew instantly, I can't find this.
Yeah, no.
He forgot about the whole rest of the store.
So with him, it might have been a case of it wasn't an interest. So
right. He'd
paid
probably,
it no mind.
He'd probably been here while it was here, but was looking for other things.
Sure, right. Just look right past it.
But this time, it just stopped dead in his tracks and then came back around and was like, we got to figure out a trade. I'm going to leave. I'm going to come back. I'm going to bring you some stuff. And he mentioned a couple of things. Are you interested in this? And I was like, yes. Everything he said was, yeah, that sounds great. So, and he said, maybe I'll be back today. He came back. It was faster than I thought he could get here.
Like then where you think he might have been driving to get home and back.
Yeah. And showed back up. And, not only did he bring us a complete G1 Megatron and almost missing one missile, almost complete G1 Optimus Prime, he had a box full of Sectars.
Oh yeah, which we still haven't.
We haven't even gotten to them yet. And
the cool thing about the Sectars is the bugs.
Yeah,
like you just don't see those.
And what did he bring mostly? Bugs.
Yeah,
and the ones that had the wings are there and they're not broken.
Yeah,
and I know we're producing these things behind. People aren't going to see this, but. In this case, we're slow enough on the Sectars. Somewhere between now and when this video releases,
it might actually. Well, we got a lot of room in cases. We're just so backed up right now,
right?
Getting stuff out. We are putting stuff out, but we're so backed up on how much we need to put out.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, we mentioned, I don't know, in the cast before this or the one before that we had 6 new cases coming. Well, they're here, and we've kind of spread some things out, and it started to fill things, but we have voids.
Well, and how we started filling up a couple of those was the other sizable G1 Transformer collection that came in.
Yep.
Along with a whole lot of Beast Wars.
And there was some great stuff in there. The what are they? The Micromasters?
Micromasters and Headmasters.
Complete sets of Micromasters.
This guy, when he collected deep. He took care of them, did not play with them hard. He kept them clean and was at an era of G1 Transformers where production was probably slight as compared to the early stuff. And they
towards
just
the tail end of
Yeah,
that
and
first gen. Yeah.
So what they brought us just happened to be a fantastic collection that had a lot of completeness to it.
And a lot of that stuff walked out the door in the first 24 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, we sold more of it today.
Yeah. So it just keeps going. And so that was a lot of fun. Like, getting to put all that together.
We had at least 2 customers eyeballing us working on it over here on the table.
Yeah.
And one of them said, I would love to go through all that stuff. And I was like, you don't understand. This is a job. Am I having the world's worst time? No. Am I having a good time? Okay, yeah. And he's like,
it could be worse, but we talked about that recently too. A couple episodes ago. Like we're working. But when you get to play with something from your actual childhood,
right.
or that things that from that toy line that you personally may have never got to play with or touch or collect or own, it's cool. But Transformers are an SOB, man. Like trying to figure out. I don't know. I think it's one of those things like, maybe you use this side of your mind more or this side.
Well,
and I mean, all three of us here trying to transform those things back together. We're on our phones or a laptop pulling these directions out, and I just want to take it and smash it down on the table sometime.
With this particular collection, for me, is a funny division of church and state, because like the Megatron hit me in the deepest parts, right? Yeah. But like these Headmasters and the Micromasters, in all honesty, was like, for me,
you weren't familiar with them.
Not really, because that's where I was finishing like a junior high and getting ready to transfer to high school. I was not aware of that stuff. I don't remember the commercials necessarily, even as much as the stuff that was coming out 84, 85, 86, 87. You get 89, 90, 91. I wasn't there anymore.
And you got a few years on me, but I checked out toy-wise junior high, kind of.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of junior high, mid-junior high, which that's perfect. I think this is going to transition into the next topic, I think. So on the show, we always the big show here. The big show we got here. We talk about the behind the scenes of the shop a lot. But now that we are sitting down to record episode 8 of this podcast, let's talk a little bit about the behind the scenes of this. So, one, it's a learning experience. I have learned that I need. We've talked about that. It's a work in progress.
The truth is, everything we do here is a learning experience.
Yeah, and if I'm happy to learn something every day. That's great.
We sure do that.
Yes, but I was talking about a couple episodes back from this one that I just reviewed for editing today and made all my notes to send over to the editor. I said I did a gift exchange, and I talked about a Wolverine and an Ivory elephant, gift exchange. And I was like 7th grade. And when I was watching that, I was like, 7th grade? I wasn't playing with toys in 7th grade. I think it was 5th, maybe 6th. By 7th grade, I assure you, hey, I'm a nerd. Like, I'll own up to it. But I assure you, at that point, I also wasn't... We were talking about Superpowers figures and Secret Wars and stuff like that. That time frame, that goes back. It might have actually been 5th grade. I don't know.
But that age also, I think, is where you start to transfer from playing with toys to collecting toys.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm kind of an oddity. I hit a point, and I was just done with all of it.
Well, I wasn't buying anymore.
Yeah.
But I sure put them all away and kept them safe.
Yeah, see, I kept all my stuff, and then both parents, they were divorced, each had stuff, and at some point just got rid of it all. And I was like, hey, where's my crap? It's gone. We had that yard sale, or gave it to the kid next door. Or like that's what happened with my toys. My comics actually got stolen. Our basement got broken into. I was going to say,
your dad was well informed on the comics.
Yeah, my comics were at my mom's house. Our basement got broken into by a neighborhood kid, and I caught him and gave him a beating. Pretty good. A Because at this point, I was 17 or something and hadn't touched a comic. You know, we've talked about how for 10 years I didn't touch a comic from 92 to 02. I didn't touch a comic.
That's right.
But he stole my comic collection along with other stuff, and he caught a beating in the neighborhood. And I mean, we got like 80% of what him and his buddy broke in and stole back. Didn't get my comics.
Yeah, what did he do with the comics?
That's not sold them to a pawn shop. Sold them to Broadway Pawn.
A pawn shop.
Yeah.
I would think back
they probably
then
got $15.
But in that day, pawn shops were even willing to buy comic books. Is what surprises me. I thought that would be a fairly hard thing to fence.
We've talked about several times, you know, St. Louis city history, and if anybody was familiar about Broadway Pawn in the 90s, they pretty much bought everything anybody brought them. Like, that was the place. You know, they had a warehouse across the street. And
that's a funny business model, though.
Yeah, they bought all kinds of stuff. And you go in and, you know, as a contractor, when I was a contractor as an adult in the early 90s, early 2000s, or late 90s, early 2000s, I'd be like, I'd go in and look at, you know, ladders or scaffolding and
tools,
pickboards and stuff that I would need. And I learned that I had to ask if they didn't have it on the floor. And
it was there somewhere.
Walk across the street with me, and we'll go look in this building that we hollowed out, and just crap on top of crap. And it was a little sketchy. Hopefully they don't come after me because they're still around, but I think their business practices are different nowadays.
We know a little bit of something about crap on top of crap around here.
Right,
it's
back room.
And we're not buying everything, but man.
Yeah. So back to like where we're at now is just a learning experience. I'm going to be taking better notes. Like tonight, I'm more prepared. We're going to just hopefully not spin wheels. When we released that first video, it exceeded my hopes on view count. Just a little bit. And then our second episode, I was like, well, since we did that, now we have guest creators on this episode. This should double those numbers easy. And it did half.
Yeah.
And we've kind of just been running stagnant at that half mark now. And that's fine. I think the initial, you get that excitement. We're still not hitting any numbers that we're going to get sponsors or get monetized. And when we set out to do this, I said that wasn't why I was doing it.
But I anybody we can get to watch this in the first year, I'm kind of tickled about.
Yeah, absolutely. But then I sit and I have to watch us. So that I can get the notes together for our editor.
And I've tried to explain to several people here recently, when I say I haven't watched every minute of every one of them that's released so far, and they're like, "Oh my God, why not?" And I said, "Because I was there."
Oh, right.
It's I'm not all that excited about watching myself.
It's awful, man. You are your own worst critic. You're looking at it and you're like, "Why did I make that face? Why'd I wear a shirt so tight? Why'd I do this? Why'd I do what?" And then we talked about, there's an episode that by the time this one's out, it's 3 episodes behind us. And the following episode, we start off, and I just go, well, we're going to try this again. We don't know if last week will make it, because that's the thing. You go through it, and I thought we were going to throw that episode away. I still kind of did think about it halfway through editing. But we're putting it out. We're just going to put it out there. We're doing it. We're learning from it. We appreciate everybody that is
sitting through it,
yeah, being entertained, and I have yet to hear a bad word.
Sure,
which is great.
Hopefully it'll only get better.
Yeah, and I hope that we continue to grow and do this, and not have any technical difficulties. We've had a couple of episodes 2 back to back. We had one where we lost full audio, our secondary audio, not from the camera that we recorded. We had to go with the camera, and then there was a bad light flicker that was worse than any episode before. And it again, James is like, don't sweat the small stuff, but I want to figure it all out, tweak it, and get it as proper as I can.
And I want the same thing.
Sure.
But with what we've already done, it's in the can.
Yeah, it's done. It's something else. It's just at this time it's content. It's filler. The discussions are still there. That's I think the bigger thing.
Well, and it's all those flickers. Everybody on Spotify and Apple will never know.
Right, exactly. If you're just listening, you have no idea.
And I think a lot of people, even if they're pulling up the video,
they're not necessarily watching. Yeah,
they're just listening.
If I listen to stuff all the time and it's video, but I'm only listening all the time.
And Lord help them if they're going to tune in every week and stare at me and you.
Should have higher self-esteem there, James. I mean, look, we're two fine male specimens.
I'm a realist.
Yeah, we're realistic. But so, and then we hope to keep doing this. We do have some more stuff coming up. Tim Dunnigan, I think. I am.
I haven't seen it spelled out yet.
So. Captain Power from the TV series.
We're bringing in movies. Captain Power.
Yeah, he's going to do an in-store appearance, and then afterwards he's going to stay that Saturday night and record with us a podcast. So that's going to be awesome. We're going to get to talk to him. We're going to find out a little bit. So I hope that we can eventually keep sprinkling in a little guest and not just us that you guys have to be,
Well, we have a couple other things on the back burner that we're not going to talk about yet. But I mean, we have ideas.
Yeah, we got stuff cooking. We're working on it. So that's it. Let's hope we don't keep rehashing the same stuff over and over and can keep progressing, I guess, is the big thing, just like we did with the store.
Well,
that's the whole goal. Keep making it better.
Well, I tell people in here all the time, especially when they say, when are you going to get this? I don't know. It's different every day.
Yeah.
It's a surprise every day. We have different things going on all the time.
I've made the joke multiple times, like, are you guys buying comics? Well, we surely do. Well, no, the big question is, let me back that up a little bit.
We're going to keep printing them in the back room. That's what you said to me yesterday.
That's my response, but to that one was a little different. But usually it's like, so do you guys buy comics too? Well, we're surely not printing them in the back room.
Right.
And then yesterday we posted some, I guess that was another nice thing that came into the shop. I went and did a buy last week. I left the shop and drove out and bought a mixed, like, true vintage Star Wars collection.
Oh, right.
And, a bunch of Power of the Force crap. Late 90s stuff.
Some of those ships aren't crap.
No, the ships were good. The 2 4-foot tubs of common figures,
not so excited about that.
We've already talked about this toy line before, but
77 to 84, we like it every time.
Some good stuff, and some of those original figures flew right out the door that day
because they had their accessories.
Yep, and they were clean, and they were, it was
nice
there.
paint.
Yeah, and no yellowing really, to speak of or anything like that. So those did really well. Now I'm trying to recall where I was going with this.
The display I put together back there, I even said to somebody, it looked nice for a couple hours.
Right, and then it got thinned out in that case.
And they're gone,
So where I was going with that was then we posted these figures, on our socials, and a regular customer commented, "Oh, I have that case and a bunch of these figures. Would you be interested in buying them?"
Nope.
And I looked at James and I said, "Well, tell them no. We'll just keep printing them in the back room, just like I did with comics. We're going to 3D print them."
Uh-huh.
It's not how it works. We can't predict when somebody's going to bring us.
I'm staying busy. I'm painting one with each hand and another one with my toes.
So we can't predict when somebody's going to sell us stuff. Everything is cyclical. That's been several months now, but a guy asked me, when are you going to get it? That massive G.I. Joe collection we've talked about, like that huge one we got almost 2 years ago now.
We may never see that quality or quantity again.
But he was like, when are you going to buy another big collection like that? And I said, as soon as I can find one.
Right.
Are you ready to sell me yours?
Right.
It's... My checkbook, my cash, it's always ready. We're ready to buy.
And I'm not trying to be mean, but I do say to people, as soon as you bring me yours, we're buying it.
Yeah, and I think that's I get that people are curious and that's what they're looking for, and again,
well, they want what we don't have.
We're poking fun. We're
sure.
not, we're not being ignorant here or malicious in any way. It's just I know you want what you want, but we have no control over what walks through the door or what I chase down out in the wild or, what we go look at.
But we get asked the same questions over and over and over and over. And it's not necessarily by the same people asking the same question.
No.
It's everybody asks the same questions.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that would top that was, when are you going to get some more of this? Which that's that question.
Right.
As soon as I can, you know. Or I might even have it. It's as soon as I can get to it, we'll get it out. But then, really odd little side note right here. Mm. Before we were in this location, 5-6 years ago, I had a kid walk in, young man, and he said, "Are all these comic books real?" Well, I didn't print them, buddy. They're real. I promise you, we're not printing them in the back room.
Well, the funniest answer is the most truthful one there. Nobody makes fakes of anything that isn't worth a whole bunch of money.
Sure.
All these dollar books, the $2 books, the $5 books, nobody's making counterfeits.
No, well, I don't know. During 2020, when everybody was stay at home and I started pumping so much stuff into my eBay store that I had at the time, I sent out, we're talking like an 03 to 08 maybe Turtles figure. It was like $19 with free shipping.
I was going to say a $15 figure.
And the guy told me, I think it's counterfeit. The paint's off. And I'm like, it was $19 with free shipping. You think I made this? Or, who did or who would? That was fun. I do not miss eBay. I do not miss eBay.
Well, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Who's taken the incredible amount of time to make a mold, make a figure, paint the figure to make $15 to $20?
And this was an on-card in package.
Yeah, so you got to make the card, you got to make the bubble.
And of like a E-list character, like it was a weird character that I didn't know, like from Turtles that I knew. I didn't know anything about it, so it was just bizarre. I wish we could print that stuff. So then, all right, let's move on.
I'm not that clever.
Yeah, I don't have the time.
Time notwithstanding, they're giving us a lot of credit for being really smart.
If I could counterfeit something, it surely wouldn't be toys.
Well, it wouldn't be something that's worth $15.
Right. So, all right.
Let me knock out the $1,000 piece, son.
So another thing we were going to talk about tonight, modern variants.
Oh.
And I don't think we'll dwell on this too long, but I guess my main question, are they dead? And when I say, are they dead? People are still buying them. Mm-hmm. And I think we've touched on it just briefly in the past, but I have been for well over the last decade that they very well may be the big thing keeping print media when it comes to comics alive.
I would absolutely agree with that. And a number of upper-end comics professionals have outright said the only thing keeping this entire medium alive is our ability to sell the same book with lots of different covers because people will buy more than one.
He obviously listens to way more podcasts than I do.
Well, and I read a lot.
Yeah, I do read a lot, but I don't.
I read a lot. Yeah. So, and my quick answer to that question is: are variants dead? No. Are they dying? Yes.
So, and then I guess that leads into like my perspective, what I'm seeing, what we are seeing walking in here.
Well, sales say everything.
We buy variants, and if we can't sell them cheap, like 85% of the variants, if we can't sell them cheap, they don't sell. If you've got a variant that's not, a few $100, like
the crazy ratio numbers,
right? When you get those crazy ones, you have a better chance of selling it. 1 in 1,000, a 1 in 500, type of thing. But your B's, C's, D's, that we had a rule of thumb for years, and it did work. Was all variants, if they don't hold a value, if they're not a ratio, they're $2. They go in our $2 bins, and as the turn of this year,
they're failing.
They're dollars now. They're going. Which
I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them.
A good amount.
Good amount of them.
And then it's also gotten to the point where I'm just like, this is an ugly variant. This is an ugly cover. I don't know why they published this.
Right.
I'm just throwing it in $1. I might throw it in the 50 cents.
Well, and another way to look at it, and the UPC tells all here, there may be a 1 in 25, a 1 in 50, a 1 in 100, a 1 in 250, a 1 in 500, a 1 in...
Okay.
But there were also several other variants that weren't ratios. So you may have 10 or 15, 20 or more variants on the same book.
Well, then you get your store exclusives, your website exclusives, your Comic Tom or whatever exclusive, your other podcasters, YouTubers, influencers.
The artists themselves are doing their own.
And JScottCampbell.com exclusive.
Clayton Crane.
Yeah. Tyler Kirkham. And then Whatnot exclusives that started coming around and all that stuff. Like, just yesterday, I think it was, I went to go price. It was one you don't see very common. I can't remember the artist name, but it was Harley Quinn, Rebirth Harley Quinn, #1.
Which?
There were 90 variants for that thing. 90.
That's insane.
That Key Collector has listed, which that could, it's a possibility they might be missing, something in there. Maybe. I don't know. It's always a possibility, but 90 variants?
Yeah, and how many of those are actually keys?
Or just hold a value,
right?
Hold a value, and almost none. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Right. So then, it used to be we'd have these people. Oh my gosh, variants $2, $2. They were $4 and $5 cover price, and they're $2 now, and that's kind of died off. And
well, I mean, and that's a shame. A $5 book that is a variant might be a lower production number. It might be a short print, and we still can't even get $2 for it.
Right.
It's got to go in the dollar bins, and we have to put a fresh bag and a board on it.
So I guess that's my question is, like, is that, have collectors lost interest? Did the variants become oversaturated?
Well, here's the answer to that. Nobody can afford to be a completionist anymore.
Well, yeah.
Well, no. Think back. Our buddy Mark, when he was he owned Moe's All American. Mm-hmm. He had guys that bought every DC comic.
Well, there was one customer that bought one of everything at one point. Well, DC, Marvel, and Image.
And imagine trying to do that now,
because Image is even in that variant.
Well, and when you're talking about these crazy ratios, we've brought this up on a podcast before, but we have a friend who one time wanted a variant real bad. And
the Moon Knights. Yeah.
So I mean, how many times
he wanted the 1 in 1,000? Yeah.
How many times can you do that? When they keep doing it, and if you're trying to buy one of everything, well, forget about multiple publishers, even one or just one character.
Yeah,
they've made it impossible.
So that leads me in, like I just mentioned, there was a time Image was not horrible about variants.
Sure,
like Spawn would have B covers, and maybe some other stuff here and there.
Todd went wild a few times for some anniversary issues.
For the big books, what was it? 200 had a lot of them.
Well, even 100
50 had a couple.
Sure.
And that's fine. I get that for those milestone markers,
but not every damn issue.
So this is going to be a side note. I'm going to tell a little story.
Go for it.
Little story time.
Let's hear it.
if I can eventually clear my throat. So in 2019, I went to the Diamond Retailer Summit in Las Vegas.
Those special issues.
Well, yes, I did get some variants that were only released there. There was a Spawn 298 that he was signing and handing out for free.
There's the good.
I sold it in the airport for $300 while I was waiting for my flight home. It was fine. Like when I got home the next morning, I had to pack it up, ship it out. But so when they do the Diamond Retail, I don't know if those are going to exist anymore, to be honest with you. Now we don't know.
No more Diamond,
right?
So that might end that.
So the retailer summits, it was a few days of events. You could do, you could opt into whatever you wanted. And there was one day where it was kind of like, products were being shopped to retailers. You could come look at what they had. You could get some swag. You could, get freebies and stuff like that. But on the first day, I think it was, there was always a dealer dinner. And the guest of honor for that whole week was Todd McFarlane. He was the industry guest. And at the dinner, he got up and he was talking about, oh gosh, here we go. This is going to be the whole portion of all the smoke on this episode right here.
Let me just stick this in. This is when he's approaching 300, when he's about to outdo Dave Sim on Cerebus.
So that's where I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
So 298 was about to come out the following month. 297 had just dropped. 298 was coming out. That was the variant that he had for all the retailers and guests and participants of that event. And at the dinner, he gets on stage and he talks about we're going to beat Dave Sims. Now, I'm going to finally go in on this.
Oh, here comes the smoke.
That's what I said. This is going to be that section here.
Here it comes.
Dave Sims wrote and drew all 300 of those issues. I'm not going to talk about Dave Sims. I'm only, in the controversy or any of that.
I think it's just Sim.
Sim. It is. So McFarlane wasn't even touching some of his books throughout this whole thing.
Well, he had a little something to do with most of them. Dave did it all. Yeah.
He did it all, and Todd did not. And I'm not knocking Todd, but when you look at print numbers, just go with the print numbers at that point.
Sure.
Don't try to bring it in like I'm doing the same independent thing, because there is a big difference there. Now, with that also being said, to the credit of Spawn, we're talking colored books. We're talking, it required inkers, colors, letters, and the production was bigger.
Well, and then you have toys
and all that
movies,
stuff. Yeah,
HBO
but that's not,
cartoons.
My point was, it took more to produce every issue than what Dave was doing.
Sure.
And then he sat there, and I believe the exact quote was, "We know retailers are getting sick of the endless variants. So we're only going to have 6 to 8 on issue 300, and it has to be somebody that worked on the interiors of the book." Now, that book got chopped up.
Did he stick to that?
Hell no, he didn't stick to it.
I was going to say.
No, that's my point of the story.
Memory doesn't serve that there was only...
He sat there and told a room full of retailers that we're
2 months away.
We're not going to oversaturate you. We're not going to do it. And then it just kept changing, and more kept coming. Now, and of course, again, back to what we were talking about, what we mentioned earlier, some of that was, there were store exclusives, there were websites, but
sure,
the amount of variance for that book was at a very minimum 2 to 3 times of what he told us in that room that night.
Yeah. Over the top.
So I guess now we're going totally sideways, because this wasn't what we talked about discussing tonight. So now I'm going to redeem myself to Todd Fowler.
Bring it in, son.
So the next day or 2 days later was the event of the, kind of the vendor floor, where you got to go meet publishers, toy manufacturers, all these people trying to pump stuff out through Diamond and get, retailers to buy them. And Todd did a signing. And if you got in line, you got a comic. I didn't bring anything to sign. I'm sorry, I just am not a Spawn fan. I love Spider-Man. I never collected Spider-Man.
That's where you got to have the Hulk 340 in hand.
And I didn't collect Hulk either. So McFarlane just did not fit my wheelhouse, really. And so I came empty-handed. I didn't have anything else to sign. But the guy in front of me, so you got the comic that he was giving out and sign, and you could bring one item to sign. And the guy in front of me was like, hey, you don't have anything? And I was like, no. And he was like, would you mind, getting this signed for me? And I was like, yeah, that's sure, fine. He handed me something. I don't even remember what it was. And then
Spawn something.
And then when he gets up, he's alone. I had my buddy with me behind me that we went on the trip with. And so this guy asked me, can I take his picture with Todd too? And I said, sure, that's fine, I'll help you out. There's a handler while you're going through line, and it's like you're going into the gulag.
Yeah, he's
have your items ready. Don't have your phone ready to go to take pictures. Todd doesn't take kindly, you're like, oh my gosh, freaking you out.
He's got whips in one hand, chains in the other.
Yeah, freaking you out. So we get up. I am an Android user because I'm a normal human being. The guy in front of me had one of those freakish iPhones. And I went to take the picture, and somehow I closed the phone.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
uh-oh.
Oh, no. What do I do?
Yeah.
And I was trying to get it back open, and I had
Put the numbers in.
I had to tell the guy, and he came, unlocked the screen, and I took his picture. And I was so terrified that Todd was just going to be like, you SOB, you're holding up the line. So I get up to give him my book, and then went around behind the table to get my picture taken. And I squatted down next to him as he's sitting in a chair. So it came around my time to get the picture taken. And I walked around behind the table and squatted down by Todd while he was sitting there. And he holds up a little peace sign and says, let's not this one up. And smiles real big at the camera. And it was laughing. And it wasn't malicious, you SOB. He was laughing about it like it wasn't a big deal. But the handler made you feel like this was going to be an awful thing.
How many times has Todd seen the exact same thing?
If you're doing the con circuit or signings or anything, you're gonna. It's
sure.
But this guy made you feel like it was supposed to be militant. Like
Todd,
like the soup Nazi.
Todd,
no soup for you. You messed up.
Todd has been on the signing line since the late '80s, before Image. He was doing stuff for Marvel, and then once Image happened, it blew up.
Right.
The Todd father, I still have respect for.
Yeah, no, I do too. I was just saying,
and that's all I want to say. And then, second, we got to bring this back around to the original question: are variants dead?
On life support, maybe.
But this is where I agree.
So then when we get back into that a little more, another point I wanted to talk about, it was like, I price 99% of the comics that come through here. I do that. And one thing I always notice is when you have publishers that use the same variant cover artists over and over.
You can't blame them if they sell.
And they might sell, but they don't hold any resale value.
Well,
so prime example of a few guys that some at one point would hold value.
Art Germ,
Momoko. Nope. Down.
But that's what I'm saying.
They're down. But they use them for everything. Momoko. A year
and a half ago, people were asking for Momoko.
Sure. Scotty Young.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And yes. We're not knocking these people. We're just saying they were. I think they were overused, and the market has softened on them. But those aren't even the names that I would go to.
The market has gotten saturated.
Perillo, Matina. I think Matina might have been one that got called out. I'm not sure, so don't quote me, but one of them last year got called out by another one for using AI and, kind of phoning it in essentially for their stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot of that. And then you've got, who's another one? Delato. Some of these guys, like their stuff.
Well, if we go,
there's certain ones that will do fantastically.
Well, if we go back over the last 2 decades, I think there's a lot of people whose careers got softened from overusage, and some of that you could probably dedicate to too many variant covers.
Ron Lim.
Oh my! Well, Ron was an interiors guy.
And now he does variants all the time, and I enjoy Ron's artwork.
Sure, always have.
I really do, but they just don't seem to hold a resale value. And I swear it's almost like any main title from Marvel, he's doing a variant for it, a B or a C. It's not necessarily ratio variants,
Yeah.
but the B or C's, and they don't do anything for anybody.
Well,
I
and
guess.
here's the question I would offer to everybody, and please comment below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Are they taking stuff away from these people? What could we have had with interiors inside of comics if these people weren't so busy trying to fulfill all the orders of variant covers?
Well, and I mean, maybe it's not that they're so busy. Maybe they're getting paid properly.
But I mean,
and making the living.
Covers probably do pay better.
They do.
But if they keep getting more orders for covers than they can even fulfill, what's the odds they're ever going to do an interior?
Yeah.
And what a lot of us would really like to see is a whole book.
Yeah, I would much prefer, rather than some variant covers, to see a well-drawn interior comic.
Well, Ron Lim should be doing a Venom book.
Yeah.
Much like all that retro X-Men stuff, especially once the cartoon popped back up. But I mean, even before that, there was all these different series, X-Men 90s stuff. Why are we not seeing that with ASM and Venom?
Yeah.
Especially with the artists that are still here to give it to us in the way that some of us have extreme nostalgia for.
Right.
They could be putting out books that some of us would go wild for. And I don't need 20 different variant covers to enjoy the interiors of that book.
Right. No. I mean, but again, that's what's keeping it alive, because there is a group of people that are only collecting for the variants. And I mean, how many times does somebody come and bring us stuff that they never cracked open to read? They just collected it.
Because they bought every thing that came out. So can we fault the different publishers for doing what they're doing?
No. Again,
I mean,
all right. So
if the difference is they don't stay alive,
all hail the variant. The variant is dead. So then we'll move on from that. We just a couple of weeks ago, around the 4th of July, and I'd hate even, like, as we talk about behind the scenes and growing this, I hate talking about dates on here, because we are doing this and then it's 3-4 weeks out before it comes out. But hey, here you go. We had our first sale of the year. Like, I think we did a little one, like we did kind of a clearing of the old inventory the first week of January. We generally carry something over after the holidays, but it was our first sale.
If we get halfway through the year without having a sale, I think we're doing all right.
Sure. So there's 2 reasons we do sales. One is we need space. That's generally
real
estate. Because we do price aggressively to move stuff, and we don't really, sales dip into our margins when we purchase and price that way. And then the other one is really just to say thank you to our customers that support us every day. And this year I went years that we didn't do it a lot, outside of 2020. There was times I had to do it to stay alive, but it was rare to get a sale, and if we did it might be a flash sale, or it'd be a one day, or I mean, for 2-3 years when people would be, it'd be March. When's your next sale? Black Friday.
We still say that.
Yeah, and that is our general response. But this 4th of July weekend, we did 20% off. Not a huge sale. we did move some stuff. We moved a lot of stuff, and people seem to appreciate it. I was kind of taken aback a little bit by the amount of people that were like, is something wrong? Why are you guys having a sale? Are you closing? Are you moving? What are you doing? What's going on? And I'm like, no, it's just a sale, man. Like, enjoy it. Take the discount and enjoy it.
We bought a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and
there
we
it is.
can't get more out unless it all goes out the door.
Y'all got to buy something so we can fit it back in here.
Mm-hmm.
We want to keep bringing the new, the good.
Yeah. And, I mean, we had a great turnout. So thanks to everybody that came in, bought some stuff, added to their collections, got it out of our way, and took it home. So the next thing, let's talk about, this will be our last thing. James has got other places to be. So
Other people to see.
right. So, why I've had here recently a couple of times where people bring stuff in for trade. Why is trade not dollar for dollar trade? I think this is X amount of money worth. Let's just throw some arbitrary numbers on it. I think this is worth $800. I want that $800 item, or I want these 5 items that total $800. Well, okay, for one, sir, ma'am, whoever. We cleaned all this stuff. We
researched it,
put the work in. We put it on display. We put it out there. The cleaning.
Oh my God.
Literally had a guy bring stuff in the other day, filthy, and he's quoting the high end of retail. And well, you can get this, yeah, and I flat out told him, I got to clean it, I got to display it, I got to sell it. You're leaving here with what you want and bringing me what you do not want. So it cannot be a dollar for dollar trade. We are investing above what we're giving you in trade credit to get it out there. And certain stuff, you know, we had an incident. Well, it happens all the time.
Hey, let's just throw a quick caveat on you're leaving here with what you want. You just saw us post a picture of that a couple of hours ago.
Well, that has happened twice in the last week where guys rushed up here and were like, I know this is worth this much and I just want to trade it for that. Well, yeah. Now, one, it was all clean, new, and packaged. It wasn't a big deal.
Sure.
But it was a little strong, but he's been good to us at bringing stuff. He's also spent good money in here. So we did end up meeting. We were off a little bit. But then when he was like, look, I just want to trade straight up. And I was like, we'll make it work. Yes. Yeah. It worked for him, but we did. Well, we're going to make more in the long run. But now he took one item and we have to sell 12 items.
We're not an immovable object.
Right.
We're willing to deal. But, I mean, it's got to be in our favor a little bit, or why?
What is the point of us doing it?
There's no impetus for us to even enter that transaction.
How many shops, like, really openly even say buy, sell, trade like we do on our signs and window stickers, you know? Like,
no, they don't want to trade. They know that they can get kicked in the behind on that.
And we do pay more in trade value
absolutely
than if we're paying cash because it's just money moving, you know, at that point. So we do pay more.
I mean, there's algorithms within, and everybody wants it to be a very simple algorithm, and they want to know their percentages. Well, it's not that simple.
No, it's not. And then I also have to equate for things sometimes, you know, obviously that's my decision to hold a sale like we were just talking about.
Sure.
But I might have to drop my pants or, you know, drop a little discount to get rid of some of this stuff sometimes.
And then there's labor costs.
Yeah, labor, time,
flat
material. Overhead overall. We've talked about overhead before.
There it is, the big one.
Overhead. So, I mean, that's the thing. People don't think about that. And
it's not cheap to do this.
Even then, like, you know, the other day, this guy was quoting a G.I. Joe vehicle, and he was like, well, I know you sold the last one you had that was complete for this much. And I'm like, yeah. And we had to clean that and piece it together. And you told me you pieced this one together, but guess what? That cockpit is broken on it already. You know, like ours wasn't. And then he's quoting transformer combiner sets that we have new in package. Well, we have the add-on piece and all of your blisters, your bubbles, and your cards are trash, bro. That doesn't equate to the same amount of that nice minty set we have.
Well, here's another thing. You sold this for this, yeah, but it took us buying 3 of them
Right.
to put it together that much to get that price. You don't understand how long we had to sit on all those parts and the time we took to research it all, put it all together, clean everything. It wasn't that simple.
Yeah. So, I mean, trade, people expecting a straight up trade, it's hard. I don't, like, there's stuff that went into this is what I'm trying to say. There's the back end that people maybe don't think about or realize that, oh, yeah, there was, like, in particular, like that G.I. Joe vehicle, like you said, not just accumulating everything to complete it over time and being able to bastardize some other one that came in, but the 2 hours and cleaning it up, maybe, getting a hairdryer out to straighten something out, like just different stuff, maybe not 2 hours, but the time that goes in, and then the real estate it takes up.
Sure.
All goes into our overhead.
And even another thought, if it takes 3 of them to put it together, what did I get for the 2 skeletons?
Exactly. I mean,
almost nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, and in some cases, we've probably even given some stuff away just to.
Oh yeah, or wholesaled it out, bulked it out.
Yeah.
Half off. We have clearance items all the time. We have boneyards that we'll pull out once in a while, and just get rid of stuff. We have to buy more than we want in some cases just to get to where we need to be.
Well, to put out a piece that's worth putting out.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think a lot of people don't really understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We may not get 100% complete all the time, but we are absolutely trying our best.
And then the flip to that is the people that bring you all the stuff that they probably should have just donated and want to trade it towards, a nice item. And it's like, yeah, I'm not even giving you 30% in trade-in.
Right.
Because I got to sell your 90 tchotchkes, over the next 4 years, when eventually in the next couple of months maybe, I'm going to sell the piece you're trying to take home.
Well, 1,000 pieces that came from the dollar store do not equate $1,000 piece in here.
Yeah. Oh, the dollar store.
It's
the big lots. It's your big lot figures aren't adding up. Your Funko keychains and mini pops and what's the other, those buttons, these things.
The soda cans.
Oh, the sodas. What are these, like, fig pins?
Fig pins.
Fig pins.
Fig pins.
Yeah, if you bring me 40 of those, that doesn't equate to, just trying to think, like, I'm not going to trade that out for an X-Men 94, bro. And I mean, that's a little extreme, but we do see stuff where people bring in, it's right. Literally, there was one we even had a couple months ago, and I was like, I think this dude just took his arm.
It just scraped the whole shelf off.
Scraped the shelf and his desk off. There was still dust on it and everything. And he was like, well, I know these are worth...
No. Brought us all the cat hair, the dog hair, the tumbleweeds. Yeah. Put it all in the box.
Mouse poop. Dying dreams. All right. I think that's it.
I'm going to have tears tonight over some of this. I mean, I can't laugh enough. Because we experience such things, and especially this guy and I together have shared experiences that most people will probably never have.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, cheers.
Oh, well, I mean, real quick, we can end. You just had an FF48 and about a 2.0, 2.5 come in the other day. We were thinking it was about
I'm gonna cry.
It was about a $400 retail, and he was like, "I want $1,500."
No, he said, my mom went to a garage sale. She pulled some books out of the trash, That was one of them. He also had the first Ditko Blue Beetle #1. It's not the first appearance of Blue Beetle, but it's the first appearance of Question.
Yeah.
And then he had some Charlton War comic. And she pulled these out of the trash. Well, then you shouldn't have high expectancies, really. And he said, I was waiting for the day. I've been holding on to him, waiting for the day. And I said, man, that was 3 years ago. You might have missed the boat. That the highs already went by. And he said, no, but the movie's coming out next week. I said, son, this is a blue chip book. It has already reached its highs. Everybody
and it's even softened up.
Well, but everybody already knows this exists. It's not a spec book where everybody's like, ooh, this is going to gain a bunch of value. No, everybody's known about this one since the 70s.
So essentially, he was trying because he thinks this movie is going to spike this book so much. He wanted 4 times a fair market value today. Full fair market value today.
Well,
for the book, based on the fact that it's going to go up.
Well, and it's a $400 book, and not just that. I can't pay you $400 for a $400 book.
A book like that, we like certain books like that, we will reduce our margin.
Sure,
because we know it's going to walk out the door.
It'll get a flip. Sure,
yeah, as long as we can price it right. But we're going to move it.
Chances
fast,
are,
we'll take a lower margin.
It's still going to take a little work on the inside because we're going to clean it up.
We're going to press it.
We're going to press it. We're going to. If there's anything that can be done,
we're going to do it.
We're going to do it. We're going to put the work in. But can I pay you fair market value for a book? No. Can I pay you 400% of fair market value? Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
And he had his girlfriend, wife, somebody in here, and I looked both of them dead in their eyes, and I said, you need to have very lowered expectations when you try to sell this the next time. It doesn't matter what venue through which you try to sell it. You really need to do your research.
Well, and I think we've had some instances like that where people have come to us or I've gone to them to look at what they're looking to sell, and they have these crazy expectations.
Uh-huh.
And then I've seen it show up in the market somewhere, and I personally know who bought it, and I'm like, they didn't pay that, and I'll find out later or eventually talking to people and be like, they didn't come back because they were embarrassed. Whoa, that was bad. That's a good place to end it. Don't be embarrassed and don't go in the microphone. So we'll see you guys next week. We appreciate you. And
thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe.
Well, yeah, they're going to get that ask. But and share.
Oh,
right?
share.
Love us. Comment. Speaking of which, tell us what you might want us to talk about.
Wow,
we haven't asked that yet, but give us some feedback. What do you want to hear about?
That would be fantastic.
We're not talking about us creating a weekly segment for something, but just what haven't we touched on that you were hoping to hear us touch on?
Well, there's so many behind the scenes stories that we don't even think about that people would probably love to hear.
Sure. Yep. And we're crotchety old men. We're going to have plenty to talk about.
We have opinions.
We're open to ideas. So thanks, guys. See you next time.
Bye.